Hi, friends, and welcome to Season 3 of the School Librarian Learning Network podcast. I'm Steve Tatro, often known as Dr. T Loves Books, and I love talking about all things related to school libraries. I'm an old dog who's always trying to learn new tricks. That's why at each episode of the SLLN podcast, I'll chat with a school librarian about a lesson, program, or activity they love. Hopefully, this can be a place for school librarians to get ideas and find new ways to engage with their students and staff. Speaking of which, I'd love to hear about what you and your friends are doing in your school library. Email me at drtlovesbooks@gmail.com. That's drtlovesbooks@gmail.com to tell me about what you're doing, offer feedback about the SLLN podcast, or to request a podcast sticker. As Amy Herman likes to say, being a guest on a podcast is a great way to show your admins you are engaged in meaningful professional development and leadership in the profession. So drop me a line and let's chat. That being said, the opinions and ideas shared in this podcast by myself and my guests are our own and do not reflect those of our school districts. I just like to geek out about school libraries. So without further ado, let's get to this week's episode. Hey everybody, I am back and I've got a returning guest, which I love. Way back. I was looking back and I had to really look back in episode 25. We had Maura come in and she shared about her rescue pet adoption program, which I loved and I'm still working on getting going in my library. But that's an episode for another time. You can go back and listen to that because right now, Maura is here to share some other awesome stuff, which I am also loving. But again, as usual, I get ahead of myself and let me say, welcome, Maura. So glad to have you back.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Why don't you take a sec and just remind folks who you are and where you're at, because you've actually had a change since last time we spoke. So that's fun.
Yes. Okay. I'm Maura Madigan, and I am a librarian in Fairfax County, Virginia. For the last 10 years, I was an elementary school librarian, and this year I transferred schools within, so I'm still within the same county, but now I'm at a secondary school, which is grades 7 through 12. It's over 3,600 students. It's a really big school.
Yeah.
And so big changes, but I'm just loving it. I'm having such a good time. Also, there are, I have 3 co-librarians.
Ooh.
So that is one of the nicest changes because now before I was just on my own. I had no assistants, no volunteers, and now it's really lovely to have a whole team to collaborate with.
Oh, that's got to be so great. Huh. Now, you said 712. Is that all in one building, 712?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Because my school, we're a 7-8 connected to a 912, but we're sort of separate within those. Even though we share some hallways, we're kind of separate creatures. So that's interesting that it's all one big thing.
Well, they're in different sections. So each grade basically has its own little sub-school.
Oh, okay.
So we have a lot of administrators, and they do a fabulous job of organizing everything. So middle schoolers and high schoolers aren't mixing when changing classes per se, although our library does serve all grades.
Awesome.
And honestly, before school, so the building opens at 7:30. Class starts at 8. Between 7:30 and 8, we get between 200 and 300 students in the library.
Wow. That's awesome.
It is. So the library is really a very vibrant part of this school and is well used.
Love that. And is it one library for the 712 complex?
Yes.
Okay. And all 4 librarians? You said there were 3 companions that you work with?
Right. There are 4 of us sharing this space. Yep. And we all have our desks out on the floor.
That's awesome. Huh. Man, when you said you had 3 folks that you were working with, I was kind of thinking there's maybe 2 different libraries and there's 2 and 2, but all of you in the same space, that's got to really be amazing. Oh, so many things you could do.
Yep. We're a very collaborative school. We have, and we do a lot of teaching, right? So for most grade levels, there's 20 classes per subject.
Wow.
So let's say you're having, all of 10th grade English come in. That means 20 classes are coming in. So often there are 2 or 3 of us teaching at the same time.
Huh.
In the same space.
That's interesting. So you guys kind of collaborate on lesson plans and stuff too?
We do, yes.
Huh. Wow.
Each of us has designated liaison subjects. So
Okay.
I'm technically one of the middle school librarians, um, but we do jump in and teach all of the grades and all of the classes as needed.
Huh. Wow. Boy, I want to just have an hour-long conversation about that, but we are going to actually go in a slightly different direction because
Okay.
you posted about this awesome thing that I saw on Blue Sky. I think no, you actually had mentioned it to me, and I was like, "Oh, holy smokes, we've got to talk about this because this is so awesome." So before we get into the meat and bones of this, sort of where did this come from? Like, what was the genesis of this idea?
So it was the week of winter break. We have a little bit back to our library. So we have a lot of students who are online students, meaning that they are taking an online class. And so they have a free period built into their day,
Okay.
and they spend that in the library. So they are assigned to the library during that free period. We also have students who are taking academy classes, which might be like vet tech or
Oh,
EMT. Or we have a lot of really cool academy trade type classes in our county.
that's
So they
cool.
would be taking a bus to another school to take those classes, which means they might have a little bit of time before they leave or after they leave. So they also come to the library. So
Gotcha.
most days we have a lot of students just in the library. And I noticed this and I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of a built-in audience. And I just wanted to do something fun. And, other than them just sitting around, some of them, of course, are doing work,
Hmm.
but some of
Yeah.
them are watching movies.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be really fun to do something like, I don't know if you ever saw that episode of The Office. It's called The Office Olympics,
Yes.
right? And I just
Oh,
had
it's so
this
good.
vision of Phyllis and Kevin doing Flunkerton, where they've got those copier paper boxes strapped to their feet. And I
Yep.
thought, this would be really fun to do kind of goofy games in the library and just to make it really lighthearted.
Hmm.
So I think I came up with this idea on like Tuesday. So I come in, and of course, I do have the best colleagues. Really, I mean, I came in, I said, I have this kind of crazy idea. And, if you're not into it, we totally don't have to do it. But I think it would be really fun. So this came together very quickly. I think we planned it all in like a day and a half.
Huh.
And I thought, okay, I don't want it to be, Christmas themed. I want it just to be more winter themed. And something that is anybody can do,
I
right? I
love
didn't
that.
want it to be like, oh, the athletes are going to be really good at this, or
Hmm.
um,
I love too the positioning of it as a winter event as opposed to a Christmas event because I always feel a little off about like kind of singling out, especially Christmas, but any kind of holidays because
mhm,
who knows who's practicing what and who knows what about what holidays. I personally I'm more of a generalist when it comes to the winter stuff, so I love that it's just sort of we are wintry without being necessarily we're holiday agnostic, as it were.
right. So I came in and they said, yeah, this is cool. Let's do it, and one of my colleagues in particular, Mike, was very helpful I had some ideas, but it was great to sit down and just be like, all right, what can I do with this? How can I make this better? And he jumped in with so many fantastic ideas. Um,
That's one of the things that's so great about having those people you can bounce ideas off of. And that's one of the reasons I love doing this podcast is because this is sort of the chance to bounce those ideas off of people because not everybody does have three people that they're working with in a space that they can sit down and have those conversations with. So I love that you've got that. Like, that's amazing. Love
mhm.
that Mike was there to kind of give you some thoughts and suggestions.
Right. And jump in and help set it all up.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's all hands on deck, and they are just fantastic. So, I mean, I really only had one idea to start with. I'm like, I could do something where we take, all of the printer paper, the scrap printer paper, and crumble it up and make it into snowballs and do something with that. And
Okay.
we're going to call it Snowball Smackdown. Right. And so then Mike helped me evolve that idea into like we could throw it into, they could try and get it into 3 different sized containers. And so, we rooted around in all of our various storage rooms to find things that would be suitable.
It's like snowball skee ball almost.
Yes, exactly. And so we kind of put all this stuff together and made the signs and all of that. And then I had some of those students who were just, happened to be in the library. I'm like, all right, I need you to try this out for me and practice this and see, is this too hard? Is this too easy? How far back should I have the people stand? And they love that. Like, they're like, this is great. Let's, they jump in and help anytime.
Getting to do something different in school is always going to be a bit of a draw. I love that.
Right. So this is the first year that we did it. This must have been Tuesday. So Wednesday, we were planning to do it on Thursday and Friday because we had classes in the library Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay.
So we knew we couldn't do it then. But luckily I had this fantastic sub on Wednesday, and she created the sign. And if you look at the show notes, I shared some pictures, and she created this fabulous banner sign, and it's kind of right when you walk in the library. And so on Thursday and Friday when kids were coming in, I'm like, have you heard about the Winter Games? Are you coming to the Winter Games later? And they're like, what are the Winter Games? I'm like, oh, what are not the Winter Games? That is the better question. So I really did go around talking it up, and also sent out an email inviting teachers to come by on that Thursday during their planning periods or during their lunch. And I did actually have 4 teachers come. So
nice.
I think if I had, for next year, I will advertise it further in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Because the teachers who did come had such a good time, and they did go back and talk it up to different people. They're like, oh yeah, I heard about that. They said I should go by. It's fun.
That's awesome. Wow. I mean, and that's a real testament to what you were able to pull together, that people are talking it up even after. Sounds like you went in on Tuesday with the idea, and by Thursday you were implementing. Like, that's mind blowing to me that you pulled something together that fast.
Right. So basically it was, what do we have on hand?
Well, when you said Flunkerton, now I'm like imagining strapping sets of like encyclopedias to kids' feet.
Well, I thought about that. So that's an idea for next year. And I'm going to put this out here now. Listeners, I want feedback. I want your help, because next year I want to add some games. So if you try this in your library and you come up with some great ideas, please email me, because I really do want some more collaborators on this.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I'm looking through your list. I love how you've sort of organized this and put this together, because you've got the game and they've got points. They've each got like different point values. So
yes,
you might do better on one thing, but that's okay, because you make it up someplace else. And you've got the descriptions and the materials too. Like, it's laid out so nice and neat and clear. And I'm looking at the pictures too that are here. Just love it. I absolutely love it. You've got so many great, I mean, the students are clearly getting into this. And
right.
The welcoming sign, folks, you got to check out this sign. It is so awesome. And you've got a nice little winter display, it looks like,
yes,
like right where the sign is. So
I know. And do you notice my citations for my images?
I do. I love it.
I shared that with, I posted it on socials, and my daughter, one of my daughters, emailed me. She goes, oh, I love the citations. Citations are cool. I was like, yeah, you could see that.
It's awesome. It's so great. Oh boy. So do you want to maybe go through some of the events here, and you can kind of explain what people did?
All right. So we had basically, and we did like change things a little bit as we went along, right?
Okay.
So Mike had the idea of raffle tickets. He had raffle tickets.
Okay.
And which worked out perfectly, because I didn't know how I was going to do the whole prizes. We did have so we had something called the Prize Palace. And it was basically just stuff we had around the library. Part of it was a bunch of puzzles, like most of them were used puzzles that we were getting rid of because we have a lot of puzzles and we're like, we want to get rid of these and trade these out and get new ones in or whatever. So there was some puzzles. We did have some new items, but very few. We did have some books that we were giving away.
Nice.
And it was kind of set up like a Chuck E. Cheese where, different amount of tickets, you get different prizes.
Love that.
And then I had all this costume jewelry. So I do like jewelry making too. And I had all this costume jewelry that I had planned to take apart and to use the beads. But I was like, we'll just put those necklaces up there as, gifts.
Yeah. Anything you win is going to have that extra glow to it. So
yes. So we kept the prizes in our conference room and the door would be closed, so students could look through the window and see the prizes, but they could not go in there unless they had a librarian with them.
Nice. Okay.
So we had 5 different stations set up. We did reserve kind of one section of the library for students who still wanted to do like quiet study work or quiet-ish study work.
Yeah.
So the first one we had was the Snowball Smackdown. And for that, I just had a cardboard box with a bunch of papers. And I made some snowballs. I said to the students, you could use, you can make your own snowballs if you want, or you can use the ones that are there. So, and then I had a piece of, I put down some blue painter's tape as like, okay, you need to stand behind the blue line. And then I just had 3 plastic bins that I found in our storeroom. One was kind of like a large size rectangular bin. And then the next one was smaller. And then the last one was actually this tall, round plastic thing that these Christmas balls came in. I don't know. So we did that. The big one was worth 1 point. The middle one was worth 3. And then the smallest one and tallest one was worth 5 points.
Okay.
So each participant or competitor got 3 chances. And then they added up their points.
Okay.
And then whoever in that round got the most points, they got, I think we said 3 tickets because that was a challenging one.
Yeah.
At first, we started out giving them the number of tickets that they got, but like some people were getting 14 tickets. And then we realized that's too much.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great idea. Like kind of level it all out and level the playing field a little bit. Cause like you said, you want to give everybody an opportunity. And if it's your ball oriented sport players who are,
But it's funny? They weren't the best.
Really?
No.
Huh.
It was very interesting.
I would not have expected that.
It was not the best athletes who were actually the best at it. So for that one also, when I was running that station, I kind of did like the whole group, say like we had 6 kids. But then when Mike was running it later, I saw he had them do 3 at a time, which that made more sense to me because then you had more of a chance to win.
Right. I love that. I could see that being a great kind of tie into like your physics class too, because like wind resistance and aerodynamics and like if you crunch the paper up tighter, it's maybe easier to, I don't know. I could, I'm already imagining the tie-ins with your science department, but
yes, definitely. So that was that game. The next game was called the Penguin Waddle. And for this, I lucked upon that we had these styrofoam balls in the back. I guess we got them for some craft at some time. They were probably about like baseball size, maybe 3-4 inches in diameter.
Okay.
And it was basically a race. So for this one, we had 4 at a time, just because the area where we had it we couldn't have any more, like wasn't wide enough. For that one, they had to keep the ball between their knees. And it's very important they keep it between their knees because that's the hardest place to do it.
Okay.
Right? Some kids, it was going up a little. I'm like, no. Can't be up higher. That's easier. right? And when you
Oh.
hold it between your knees, you really do look like a penguin waddling. And then the rule is no bunny hopping,
Mm.
because that's easier too.
Okay.
And if it falls or like, kind of comes up, you've got to adjust it before moving on.
Okay. I love this. Okay. So we're getting very I like that we're getting very detail oriented here and making
Oh,
sure
yeah.
that we're keeping this fair and competitive. That's
So
great.
for that one, they have to go, again, start behind the blue line, or if you have masking tape or whatever you put down. We had blue painter's tape, and that's great because it just comes right up off the carpet pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then we had another line. So they had to go all the way down to the blue line, turn around, come back. That one, I think we did 2 points or 2 tickets. And then also using those snowballs. We did snowball on a spoon.
Okay.
And that was one that we really grappled with. And Abby, our sub, and I were just kind of racing around the library on Wednesday with this. We're like, all right, do we make them like hop on one foot? We didn't want it to be too easy.
Mm-hmm.
But we quickly realized is it's a race, right? So you want to move fast, but when you move fast, you run the risk of the snowball falling off the spoon.
Okay.
So we were like, all right, we're overthinking this and making this, it doesn't need to be complicated.
Right.
You do want to make sure that the students hold it, the spoon at the tip of the spoon that's away from where the snowball is, because if you hold it too close, it's just too easy.
Right. Then you're just bracing it with your hand.
Yeah. We had kind of larger sized plastic spoons that are maybe like tablespoon size, but I think if you wanted to make it a little more challenging, you could do a teaspoon size one.
That would be challenging.
Yep. And that was the same concept of, start here. You got to race to the other side and turn around and come back. And if it falls off, you have to pick it up and continue on.
Okay. It's funny. I'm like, some of these are similar to things that my school does when we do our I want to say color wars, but that's not it. Battle of the classes, where the students have like a egg race on the spoon.
Yes, exactly. Oh yeah. I didn't make up these games.
Oh no. But I love that you were able to take these things that like, it wouldn't have occurred to me. Just take this thing that you're already kind of like familiar with. And we're just going to put this little tiny spin on it. And now it's a completely different thing for this theme that's going to now all tie this all together. I love it. So great.
Also, I was thinking also about like kids' party games when you're in elementary school. Right? Those are fun. Kids like those. So my next one was pin the nose on the snowman.
I love the picture of the student who is pinning the nose on the snowman. Like,
yes. Okay. So for this one, we also did, it morphed a little bit. At first, we did not do the black dot where the nose should be. And then we were like, how do we guess? Because you got different stickers.
Right.
And we did have a ruler to measure, which one is closest. But eventually we're like, all right, we need to just draw a black dot. Also, we found out that if you let the kids feel with their hands, it's a lot easier for them because they're feeling the edge of the paper.
Oh, okay.
And they're feeling, if they're not the first one, they're feeling the other stickers. Right?
So it's almost like a sensory challenge at the same time.
Yeah. So what we've said is we blindfolded them. We had them turn around 3 times themselves. And then we kind of put them, guided them in the right direction. But we said you can only use the hand that has the sticker on it.
Okay.
So that made it more challenging.
Yeah.
We had these kind of puffy stickers. And we had all different ones. So we had 5 or 6 kids doing it. Then each one had a different sticker. So we knew which one was the winner.
That's good thinking.
I didn't think about this until after the fact, but I was like, oh, we didn't think about lice. I mean, not as big of an issue in high school.
Hopefully.
No, but high schoolers do get lice from like their younger brothers and sisters. So I was thinking, oh gosh. So I don't know. In the future, either there's going to have to be like individual blindfolds, or maybe we just do honor system, close your eyes kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I love the idea of like using a scarf as sort of your blindfold is like another tie into the winter Wonderland theme here. And but you're right. Like, how do you make sure? That's definitely one to. That's a little bit of a head scratcher. No pun intended.
Um,
So we've got Snowball Smackdown, Pin the Nose on the Snowman, Penguin Waddle, Snowball on a Spoon.
okay, and then Snowy Scavenger Hunt. So this is like the real library thing, right? So I went around and I found different books that had something to do with winter, either winter in the title or, something about blizzards from different sections of the library. And I wrote down the title and the call number. And no, I don't think I did the section. Maybe I did the section. And then inside those books, I put a Post-it note that had a letter on, a different letter on each one. So they had to find the book, write down the letter, and then there were 6 different letters, 6 different books, and then they had to unscramble the letters to come up with a winter-themed word.
Nice.
And whoever brought the word back to me first was the winner.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I told them for this one, it was a 2-pointer. Next year, maybe we'll make it more. I don't know. This one took the longest. And I said, you can either work on your own or you can work with a partner. But if you work with a partner, you split the points.
Mm-hmm.
And I had clipboards and pencils that they used.
From a logistics standpoint, I'm kind of curious, like if you had teams sort of, or even individuals doing this sort of at the same time, like in a timed sense, were they like watching where each other went to like, oh, now I know I just have to go over there? Like,
okay, so what I did to avoid that is I had we thought about having more, but we had 2 different versions. And there were different books on, 2 of the books were different on each. So there was some crossover.
Okay.
And I also mixed up the order. So they weren't going to the same section at the same time.
Gotcha. Oh man, that'd be great too, because if you've got just a couple of different books on each list and they're in different orders, they might think that they're onto something by like, oh, they've got that book and we have to find that book. And now they're going to follow each other and get wrong clues. That'd be great.
But what was great about this is I did have a couple of Cat B teachers bring in their classes. So they have these small self-contained special education classes.
Okay.
And they were working, I think they worked as 2 teams. There were 6 students. And so one teacher went with each. And the teacher gave me the feedback. She goes, this was so great for them. She goes, I learned so much about my students from this scavenger hunt. Just things that, she maybe hadn't thought to test or assess before. But she said she learned a lot of what they could do. That's awesome. So for that one, I collected the papers from everybody afterwards and just got rid of them to make sure that, they didn't pass it on to their friends or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then, so the last one, it was not really a station, but it was yodeling.
This, I love this, and yet I'm also trying to just imagine.
I know. Okay, so everyone that I said yodeling, they're like, including my family members, said, what does that have to do with winter? I said, well, when I think of yodeling, I think of, Switzerland, Austria, snow, and
absolutely.
And
Alpine.
I said, it's just really funny.
Yes.
It's funny.
Absolutely.
And so one of my colleagues, Una, and I spent a lot of time one day just watching YouTube videos on yodeling. I was like, okay, we could maybe like show this clip of yodelers, and Una was the most skeptical about the yodeling. So of course I made her be the judge. Now, funnily enough, we did not have many students who wanted to compete in the yodeling competition.
I can't imagine.
Right? Even though I demonstrated for them several times the correct way to yodel.
I love that as a great like cultural teaching moment too. Like, here's a thing that maybe you have heard about. Here's actual video of it going on, and let's take part.
We didn't actually use the video because we realized I couldn't find just a quick enough clip. I said, I'm just going to demonstrate for everybody. And so a few students did it, but they were clearly embarrassed, right? They didn't want to do it in front of their friends. But if they needed just one more ticket or two more tickets to get the prize of their dreams in the prize palace, they were like, all right, I'll yodel. So what I decided to do is, instead of making it, and we were giving the winner 3 tickets, right, to try and entice them to do this.
Yeah.
I said, anybody who tries it will get 1 ticket. And then we had more students doing it.
Yeah.
And we actually had one of the teachers who came to compete had lived in Austria and was in a yodeling chorus.
What?
Yes, I know.
That is amazing. Wow.
Yes. So it was all really fun. And then, when they were ready, they would come in and turn in their raffle tickets. And then we would just take them back and I'd put them in my pocket to give out to other kids. So,
Reduce,
since we had
reuse, recycle.
students, we just had students coming in, all during the day on Thursday, which during lunch times, we had a few teachers who brought their smaller classes. And then on the Friday, we have something, like every other day, we have this, an advisory and a period called Raise, which is, you can use it to go get extra help. You can use that to, visit a different teacher. It's kind of a very flexible time. And this is often when we'll have special workshops in the library.
Gotcha.
And also students can sign up to come to the library during that time, either to play games with their friends. We've got a lot of board games and different activities and things in the library, or just to do work or just to hang out. So we had students who signed up for the Winter Games for that Friday during the race period. So that was probably our biggest group. I think we had about 25 to 30 kids come, mix of middle school and high schoolers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was fun. One of the sweetest things was that a lot of the students were in the prize palace. They were choosing gifts for family members because it was right before Christmas.
That's so nice.
Yeah, so that was really sweet.
That is sweet. I love too that like all the stuff that's going on with these is stuff that could absolutely be, it doesn't have to be middle school or high school. It can be a mix of age ranges, grades. Like it's all very accessible stuff.
Right. And it's not language specific. So definitely great for multilingual learners. As I said, our special students with special education services were able to fully participate, so it was very
accessible.
Inclusive.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. And I see already that you've got some ideas for next year on your list here too. Right.
So listeners, here's how you can help me flesh this out. I'd love to do something like ice skating or snowshoeing, but in a safe way.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back more to that Flunkerton where, you've got the boxes strapped to your feet. So maybe something like that. Maybe something with a luge. Now, obviously not like the kids sitting in it, but maybe a mini luge where, I don't know.
It was like a
race, like you.
Yeah. If you did like they used to have those little tracks for Hot Wheels cars. And
yes.
Like if they built like maybe little Lego ramps or little Lego cars or something.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about that. It has to be like all of these games are pretty short, and one thing that also was there was no order, like they didn't have to start somewhere and they could opt in or opt out to any of the games. Right.
That's awesome.
No one was forced to participate in any of them. And also when I invited students, I said, you can just be an observer, right? If you wanted to come and watch, you can do that. You don't have to participate if you don't want to.
Yeah. I mean, and it would be fun to watch. I can totally see just wanting to just see what's going on as people are doing these things.
Right. The other idea I had for next year is maybe like a like a snowman building contest. We get daily newspaper delivery. So
Okay.
we always have a lot of newspapers on hand. And I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of like what snow looks like in New York City after a few days.
It does. It does.
Um, I was like,
Hmm.
oh, we could call it like the Build a Dirty Snowman. I'm like, no, that's probably not the
No,
best
that wouldn't.
title.
Yeah, I don't even know if my high school kids could get past that one, but
No.
the middle schoolers would definitely have a field day with Dirty
Yeah, yeah,
Snowman. But
yeah.
I
So,
love the idea of like if they were, kind of trying to figure out how do you get the snow. Like I can see crumpling up the newspaper into like snowball size or like bigger sizes,
right.
and then how do you
Yeah, I'm thinking
attach?
something like within a certain time limit, like you have, okay, 2 minutes or 5 minutes. This is something I would have to test out beforehand
Mm-hmm.
to see how
Mm-hmm.
long it would actually take. And maybe they would need, a certain amount of tape they could use, and whoever can build like the tallest freestanding snowman
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
wins, something like that.
Yeah. Hmm.
But having maybe, hot chocolate next time would be really
Oh
nice. Maybe a
yeah.
crackling fire. I don't know. I'm thinking of lots of different ways to do this. Oh, one more thing. Thinking back to pin the nose on the snowman.
Mm-hmm.
We avoided making carrot noses for a reason.
Ah. Yeah, okay. That is a pro tip right there, folks.
Yes. I think that
That's
would apply to all grade levels.
yeah, I can see how that could maybe be a potential pitfall.
Right.
But wow. Huh. Okay.
Um, Also, I had actually, so when I posted this on, I think it was on Facebook, but a friend of mine who is a new elementary school librarian, actually shout out to Maureen Hallworth, because she said, I want to try this and tie it into the Olympics, which, the Olympics is coming in February 6th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And tie it into, there's a picture book, Tacky and the Winter Games, about a little penguin
Hmm.
who takes part in the Winter Games. So if you're an elementary school librarian and you want to try this, that would be a great read aloud to do before introducing the Winter Games.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow. All sorts of tie togethers here. I love it. Boy. Hmm. I mean, this is so awesome. It's very straightforward, but the way that you've tied it all together, I mean, you've clearly made a thing that the students were really interested in and engaged by, that they were taking like their free time, which students are not usually very willing to give up, and coming to take part in your winter games. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think I probably had as much fun as the kids did. And we had, I said we had a few teachers who came, and they competed against students.
Nice. Oh, I love it.
So that was really nice. I think in the future, I might get some students to run the games as well,
Mm-hmm.
because there were a few times where, we had, when we had the big group, we were like, okay, wait, I'm running this station here. So, wait a minute, and then we'll do that. So I think in the
Mm-hmm.
future, that's probably what I would do, is kind of, have other kids jump in and help.
That's a great tip. I love it, man. And I mean, you've already kind of thought through so much of this with this year and sort of learning from the experience of what went on and, changing on the fly or making, adaptations that'll be ready for next year. I love that you've got this all sort of just laid out so nicely. There is a great document in the show notes, folks. Do not miss it because it lays it all out for you, just straightforward. It's so great. Man, I keep going through it and just keep enjoying it more and more as I'm going through the details.
Well,
It's so awesome.
Steve, you're going to have to do it
Oh,
and
absolutely.
take pictures and send them to me so I can see the Winter Games in action at your library.
Definitely. Definitely. I'm kind of thinking like the snowshoeing thing or the ice skating. I wonder if you could almost do it sort of like Flunkerton, but if you just had empty uh copier boxes and no top on them, and you had to have your feet inside the boxes and like shuffle those,
Mm,
like if they weren't attached to your foot at all. Maybe that's not even hard enough.
I
Gotta think
know.
about that a little more. But there's so many things here. Like and like you said, it's something that is easy to put together once you've got the thoughts. And like, once you're starting to think, oh yeah, here's something that we've done before. Let's just rebrand it a little bit and turn it into our winter Olympics here, our winter games. Oh boy, so fun. I'm
It
so
was.
glad that you came to share this, because this is just something, and you had said before, like, anybody can do this at any time. It doesn't have to be like the pre-winter break event, although what a great pre-winter break event when the students are already going to be kind of bouncing off the walls anyway.
Right. That's actually what I was thinking. I'm like, let's do something fun. Let's do
Yeah.
something fun those few days before winter break where everybody's kind of, burnt out and ready for some downtime, and just was really fun and festive.
Yeah. And I love the tie into the Olympics too. Olympics right around the corner.
That's
Why not?
right. So listeners, get out there and do the winter games before in January,
100%.
February.
Yeah. Oh, man. Great opportunity for everybody to kind of just get in there and have some fun with the students and tie it into current events. You can't beat that, right? Man. Well, I think that kind of gets us through the details of what's going on here, which I love. So I think it's time for us to take our 90-degree turn and go into our book break. Book break. Anything you want to share, personal, professional, for staff, for students, for yourself. Maybe it's sitting by the ski lodge fire, enjoying your hot cocoa in a good book, whatever it might be. What's a book or a couple of books you want folks to have on their reading radars?
Okay, so I went through my Goodreads file from last year and looked to see what were my favorite books that I read. And the first one is just an adult book. It's The Wedding People by Alison Espach.
Okay.
And so this takes place in Newport, Rhode Island. And the main character is a woman who has really reached the last straw in her life. And she travels to this inn that she's kind of had this dream of always going there with her husband. And it never happened. So she travels there by herself and she's suicidal, right? She's got this plan in mind. But when she gets there, she realizes that she's the only one who is not part of this wedding party. Like somehow the inn made a mistake and rented out a room to her, and all the other rooms are wedding guests.
Okay.
So it's a book that has stayed with me and resonated with me, and it's really funny. I mean, it starts off with a very sad, like serious topic, but it's probably one of the most hopeful books I have read in a long time.
Okay.
And
it's such a great idea. I love that thought of the outsider who accidentally got inside and now is sort of seeing what goes on, having that outside perspective on an event everybody else is on the inside of. I bet you that's like you said, I can see this being a lot of fun. I mean, like you said, very serious kickoff, but
it's like laugh out loud funny too.
Okay.
And it's kind of, the main character has nothing left to lose, so she basically becomes her truest self.
Okay. I like that. Okay.
The next book is a kid's book, or a book that I read for school and that I book talked a lot to students, and it's called The Night Raven by Johan Rundberg. It's the first in a series. So there are 4 books in the Moonwind series, and it's translated from Swedish.
Okay.
So it takes place in 1880s Stockholm. So it's a historical fiction, but also a mystery. And the main character is an orphan named Mika. She's 12 years old. And that, I want to say, I know that a lot of librarians have had this conversation before where, characters are either 12 or they're 16, right? Where are all the 13, 14, and 15-year-old characters? So I read this where she really is more of a 14-year-old today. She acts like a 14-year-old. And so when I was book talking to students, I said, she is 12, but back then in the, in the 1800s, a 12-year-old is more like a 15-year-old in today's society.
Yeah. A lot more
Um,
mature, a lot more responsibility. Yeah, I can see that.
so you learn, and it's a little bit gory. I mean, I think
Hmm.
it's pitched at like 5th through 9th grade level. It's a little bit gory. I would probably put it, in a middle school, high school. I might do upper elementary as well. But she lives in an orphanage, and there's a killer on the loose in Stockholm, and somehow she ends up helping the main detective solve the case.
Okay.
So I pitched this, in all my book talks. We had every grade level except seniors come through. And funnily enough, it was always high school boys who wanted to check it out.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Part of it might be because it is a fairly slim book, like it's under 200 pages.
Always a draw.
Or maybe I just really talked it up really well. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we've since ordered the other books in the series. I haven't gotten a chance to read them yet, but this first one is definitely excellent.
Okay, great. I mean, now I got 2 great titles to add to my TBR. I love it. Man. So we got great books. We've got great activities. This is awesome. I mean, what a great way to come back from winter break and just have thoughts and ideas and book titles ready to go. I know people are going to want to be able to see what you're up to in your space. So where can people go if they want to track you down? Where are they going to find you online?
Blue Sky is the best. I didn't shut down my Twitter account, but I don't ever go there anymore.
Yeah, me too.
So for professional purposes, mostly Blue Sky.
Awesome.
And if you have any questions, though, I think I included my work email. You can email me, and certainly if you want to help me with some ideas, definitely shoot me an email because I could definitely use some help refining those ideas for next year's winter games.
We are better together. When we work together, we always get better outcomes. Man.
Absolutely.
Well, I love it. Thank you so much for volunteering to bring this to us and for sharing this all, because this is just, I mean, the joy that I see in the pictures of your students partaking in this. So wonderful. So great to see that kids are just having a great time in the library. And you put this together in such a short time frame, and I'm just so impressed. And kudos to you and your fellow librarians for making this come together for your students. Way to go.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, this just goes to show that you don't really need to have a lot of stuff to have fun. Right? Most of the things we're using are things we found around the library and recycled materials.
Love that. All right. I mean, that is a perfect note for us to wrap this up on. So thank you so much. I really, truly appreciate you being here, Maura.
Oh, great to be here, Steve. Happy New Year to you.
You too. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the SLLN podcast. Be sure to check out the show notes for the episode. They feature links to resources shared by our guest, as well as ways to keep in touch with them, and links to the book break titles. I'd love to hear from you. If you have feedback, a comment, an idea, a question, or something you want to share, you can email drtlovesbooks@gmail.com. That's drtlovesbooks@gmail.com. Know a librarian with something we could learn from? Let us know. Until next time, be good, be safe, and be well.